In all main series Pokemon games, the only way we could continue our quest is to battle and defeat other trainers. Some are easy and some are very difficult. So out of all these battles, here are 10 of them that I found are most memorable. Number 10. The battle against Sabrina. Battling Sabrina for the first time in Pokemon Blue is a battle that I will never forget. Before you battle her, she'll tell you that she had a vision of your arrival, which on its own was very creepy around that time. And when you do get to battle her, you'll notice that defeating her is very tricky. The Pokemon she uses has some very good combination of movesets, with moves such as Recover, Disable, Light Screen, and Psychic. But the thing that makes this battle so interesting is the fact that most of her Pokemon are Psychic types, and in Gen 1, Psychic type Pokemon were unstoppable. Ghost type moves had no effect on them, and there weren't any strong Bug type moves that could stop them. Most Bug type Pokemon and all Ghost type Pokemon in Gen 1 were part Poison, which made them even more useless against Psychic type Pokemon. This made the battle against Sabrina not only creepy, but also very challenging. Number 9. The battle against Steven Stone. The Pokemon games have always done a great job on connecting the dots, and Steven Stone is a perfect example of that. Steven likes to collect rare stones, and the title of the games are Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Now the Pokemon Steven uses are also kinda cool. He has a Skymory, a Cradily, an Aggron, a Claydol, an Armaldo, and a Metagross. They are not only some of the strongest Pokemon in the Hoenn region, but they are also based on natural material, such as rock, ground, and metal. Battling Steven, the champion of Hoenn, was tough, but it was also a learning experience, and is something that I'm not going to forget anytime soon. Number 8. The battle against Norman. The fact that you have a father in a Pokemon game is amazing on its own, but being able to battle him and receive a gym badge is what makes this so memorable. Norman, the normal type expert, moved from Johto to Hoenn so that he could become the normal type gym leader. It's kinda cool that he followed his dream, but didn't leave his family behind to achieve that dream. After a very intense battle between a father and his child, Norman gives you the Balance Badge, and it made perfect sense to name his badge the Balance Badge because it shows that Norman had to balance being a father who wants you to succeed and an opponent who has to stop you from succeeding. Number 7. The battle against Blue. Blue was always one step ahead of you. He chooses the starter Pokemon that had the advantage, he defeated all the gym leaders before you, and once you have defeated the Elite Four, you are told that Blue has already defeated them and is the champion of Kanto. So getting a chance to battle him at the end, and taking away his newly earned title was very memorable. The battle itself was very difficult, and it should be because Blue has one of the most versatile team of Pokemon out of all the champions. He has a Psychic type, Water type, Grass type, Flying type, Fire type, and a Ground Rock type. Blue was always there testing your skills, and I'm glad he was there at the end to test your true skills for one last time. Number 6. The battle against Professor Oak. This one is a bit tricky because it's not canon, and the only way you could battle Professor Oak is by doing a certain glitch in the game. But I had to put this on the list because the battle against Professor Oak has created so many speculation about the role Samuel Oak plays in the game. When you battle Sam, the Pokemon he uses are Tauros, Arcanine, Gyarados, Exeggutor, and the starter Pokemon that you and Blue didn't pick. And because all of his Pokemon are stronger than Blue's Pokemon, and the fact that he shows up right at the end of the game led many people to believe that Professor Oak was supposed to be the real champion of Kanto. I really like the idea of Professor Oak being the real champion, because he's the first person you see when you start the game, and it would have been amazing if he was the last person you battle before ending the game. Number 5. The battle against Cyrus. Cyrus is by far one of my favorite villains of all main series Pokemon games. He is an emotionless person who believes that emotion is the source of all conflict in the world. And so, to eliminate emotion, he began his quest to control time and space, and with that power, he wants to create a new world where he could be God and there would be no emotions. Cyrus may have been insane and emotionless, but he still has some humanity left in him, because every time you battle him, he he will complement your skills as a trainer, and he even gives you the Master Ball as a reward. When you battle Cyrus for the 3rd time in Platinum, he unleashes his true power with 5 dual-type Pokemon with some of the most impressive moves a Pokemon could learn. But the thing that was so interesting about this battle was the fact that it took place in the Distortion world. And after the battle, Cyrus learns that it is impossible to create a new world, but he still doesn't give up and promises to find the secrets that's beyond the balance of time, space, and antimatter and use that knowledge to create his perfect world. Number 4. The battle against Cynthia. Cynthia is a perfect example of a true Pokemon champion. She is powerful, smart, and cares about battling. But the thing I like about Cynthia the most is that she likes Pokemon mythology, which is a reflection to the theme of the Generation 4 games and the Pokemon she uses, such as Lucario, the Pokemon of Aura, Milotic, the Pokemon of Beauty, and Spiritomb, the Pokemon of Temptations. Cynthia was always there, guiding you when things got tough, and to battle her right at the end of the game was an honor. Number 3. The battle against Silver. Silver is by far the darkest rival in all Pokemon games. He is hateful, power-obsessed, and even physically abusive, pushing the player character around several times. I hated Silver when I first met him, but over time you learn about his past and understand why he behaves the way he does. When you battle him at the Indigo Plateau, you even begin to respect him because he finally learns to care about his Pokemon. During the battle, you see that his Golbat has evolved into Crobat, which only happens when Golbat is friendly. After the battle, you can find Silver at Dragon's Den, and you can see that the starter Pokemon that he stole is now following him around, which shows that his Pokemon truly cares about him too. It's impressive how just by battling someone could have such an impact on how you view a certain person, from that first battle that created hatred to the last battle that resulted into respect. Number 2. The battle against N. N believes that Pokemon should not be used as tools, so every time he battles the player, except for the last battle, the Pokemon he uses can be found in the surrounding area. This was also done so that N could test the player to see if he or she is the true hero of Unova. Right until the final battle, the things you see and experience helps you understand that this story has not one, but 2 heroes. And with the help from the legendary dragons, Reshiram and Zekrom, both heroes must battle one last time. What I really liked about this battle was that how it all connects to the theme of the games, the concept of truth versus ideals. Number 1. The battle against Red. Meeting Red and getting the chance to battle him in Gold and Silver had to be one of, if not the best moment in all main series Pokemon games. Red's team is a reflection of the events that took place in Generation 1. He has a Snorlax, a Pokemon that you must encounter to continue the Kanto storyline, an Espeon, an evolution of Eevee, a Pokemon that is given to you by Bill, a Blastoise, the mascot for Pokemon Blue, a Venusaur, the mascot for Pokemon Green, a Charizard, the mascot for Pokemon Red, and a Pikachu, the mascot for Pokemon Yellow. The battle was long and difficult, but in the end, it was very satisfying. But the thing that made this moment so memorable was the fact that your opponent was Red, and what he symbolizes. Red represents the journey you had in Red and Blue, and so he is a part of you, and battling him was like battling yourself. One of the greatest opponents you face is yourself, and this applies in real life as well. Battling Red was like battling your childhood, telling it that it's okay to grow up. Be sure to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, links are in the description. Alright, that is all for this video. I'll be back with another video soon, so subscribe and stay tuned.